Across the entire white population in the US in 1860, 1.4% of individuals owned slaves. And I find this interesting because I rarely hear anybody talk about this. In other words, 98.5 to 98.6 out of every 100 white people did not own slaves. So my question to many Black Americans is, why do we continue to act like it was 100% of white people who owned slaves and all white people are responsible for it? Like, you'll see many Black Americans that love to talk about this history and get all, and they don't want to tell you this and they don't want to tell you that, but these same people conveniently leave out that the vast majority of white people did not have slaves. On top of that, many Black Americans act like there was not a civil war fought over slavery. The Civil War was fought over slavery. And over 300,000 male white Union soldiers died in this war. So in essence, there were whites who were fighting to keep us enslaved, and there were whites who were fighting to free us. But it seems like most Black Americans only tend to want to focus on the white Americans who wanted to enslave us. And they treat all white Americans as if they're part of that group, when the reality is clearly they're not and they weren't. Again, only like 1.4 to 1.5% of white individuals in 1860 owned slaves. So again, my two questions as of right now would be, why are we acting like all white people owned slaves and supported people owning slaves? And the other question is, why do we act as if there was not a civil war fought by white people to free us from being slaves? It's like many of us only want to focus on the side that was doing wrong and not the side that did right. And I think this is important clarity that's not talked about enough. Like, too many of us walk around acting like this was something all white people were doing. It wasn't. So acting like this was all white people is representing a skewed, inaccurate version of history. And many Black Americans somewhat base some of their feelings of white people based off of this skewed, inaccurate representation of history. And I think the more we can bring to light the reality of this can work to help alleviate some of the frustration that Black Americans have with white people, which I think overall would be beneficial. But then the next thing on top of this is it's about time to move on. Like, at some point, we have to move on. Like, if many Black people spent more time focused on bettering themselves and putting themselves in a better situation compared to talking about racism and white people and complaining about the past, many of us would be far better off. That's just the truth. A lot of that mental energy could go to something much more productive for you and your family and society as a whole. Also, just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I go into more detail on many of the topics that I talk about. I cover many things here the mainstream media does not want to cover. Also, like in this video, I show a lot of facts that are inconvenient to the narratives that people want to push. So the link to this is in my bio. Just go to my profile, click the link. You'll see the screen I just showed. Drop your email and hit subscribe and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. We'll see you in the next one.